Hello and welcome to the Gifford Gymnasium for today's high school basketball matchup between your Wayne Hills Patriots and the Paramus Spartans. I'm John Vittas here with Joe Rapp. Joe's the home opener for Wayne Hills. Now Wayne Hills comes in with an 0-1 record. They lost to JF Kennedy in Patterson on Friday, so they're 0-1 on the season, but high expectations this year, going into the season with a tougher schedule. Now, going into this game against an 0-1 Paramus, what do you think they need to do in order to win?
Well, John, with big guys at the power forward and center position, like Chris Fonte and Mike Quinn, they need to control the paint. They need to get defensive rebounds. They need to lead the fast break and get easy layups at the basket.
Now, one thing Wayne Hills is known for is their three-point shooting, and they were famous for that last year with Steve Lacarica and Joe Russo. Now, this year, there's two juniors who have stepped in to fill those roles as shooters. That would be Sam Pressler and Matt Heskins. Now, those two, along with Joe Brandel, who's been lights out the last couple of years, those three guys are going to need to shoot the ball well. But we're just about ready to get underway, so we're going to throw it down to Mr. Mezzi for the opening lineups.
Paramus High School, the home team, Patriots of Wayne Hills. The NJSIAA continues to remind us with the following announcement. Spectators are to remain in the stands at all times. Additionally, regulations state that any negative comments directed at opposing cheerleaders, players, coaches, or officials, as well as opposing spectators, are unacceptable and will be cause for immediate ejection from this gymnasium. We are also reminded that state law has a smoke-free choice while respecting the opposition. Thank you for your cooperation and enjoy the game. The officials in tonight's game are John Sheehan and Bob Hope. And introducing the coaching staff for the visiting Spartans, head coach Bill Whitney and his assistants Brett Higgins and Bob Kingsley. And for the home team Patriots, head coach Dr. James Catalano and his assistants John Goldstein and Kevin Batty. And now for the starting lineups for the visiting Spartans. At guard, number 10, Danny Donati, number 10. At guard, number 13, Leo Valdez, number 13. At center, number 12, Greg Cipollini, number 12. At forward, number 20, Eli Emmanuel, number 20. And at forward, number 14, Eric Lesko, number 14. And for the Patriots, senior guard, number 3, Joe Brandel, number 3. Junior guard number 35, Matt Heskins, number 35. Junior forward number 42, Sam Pressler, number 42. Senior forward number 12, Mike Quinn, number 12. And senior center number 50, Chris Fonte, number 50. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you...
Welcome back to the Gifford Gymnasium. I'm John Vittas here with Joe Rapp for the Hills Paramus game. We just observed a moment of silence for Wayne Hills English teacher, head of the English department, Angela Mancinelli, who tragically passed away this weekend for unknown causes, really. And it really struck the school hard today. I mean, a lot of people were surprised to hear about it, considering she was only in her mid-50s. So just a tragic event that this Wayne Hills staff has had to deal with today. So now, Joe, getting back to the game. We were saying earlier about the three-point shooting and Chris Fonte down low. Now, as we head into this new season with a fresh batch of players and talent, out of these 5 starters, who do you think needs to step up tonight?
Well, you got to look at the point guard, Matt Heskins, John. I mean, he's inexperienced at the varsity level, and really it's a learning experience going to the NBA, going to college, and also high school varsity basketball. So look for him to have a big day, and look at him leading the break right here and get – oh!
Joe, it's a heck of a call. Heskins got the ball right off the bat. Pressler's going to swing it to Quinn now. Hills with a huge height advantage. Brandel from 3, no good, just a bit long. Fonte's there for the board. He's trying to be saved by Paramus. Paramus will control. They lose it. Brandel gets it back and lays it up and in. Joe Brandel gets the scoring going with the layup off a broken play, and Hills is up 2-0.
And for a high-scoring offense like Wayne Hills, Paramus can't afford to have those silly turnovers.
And there's another one, just like you said, Joe, right on cue. Mike Quinn with the steal. Coming off the press, he dishes it to Brandel from long range. No good, rebounded by Heskins. He'll kick it back out, and Quinn is there to recover the ball. So a fast start. Quinn to Heskins wide open for 3. That one's short. Rebounded by Lesko for Paramus. So Paramus' first offensive possession now coming back the other way. This is number 13, Leo Valdez, who gets it back to Lesko, the forward. A huge height advantage for the Patriots. Chris Fonte, of course, the center at 6'8". The center for Paramus, Greg Schipoliti, looks to only be around, by my guess, around 6'3" or 6'4". So it's a 5-inch difference down low. There's Lesko to back to Valdez. Tough defense from the Patriots. Heskins is right there. This is a 3-point attempt from Lesko, who hits it from downtown. So just like that, Paramus regains the lead.
I mean, for Paramus, they got to take their time. They got to get the best shot available.
Brandel's running the point for the Patriots. Running more of an organized offense. We didn't see this too much last year with Lacarica and Russo and guys that can just really score at will. And now this year, a more set offense, maybe a little less raw scoring ability. So that could be an issue for this team, but they're going to run a set offense. As you see, Heskins getting in there for the steal. They get it up to Fonte, who lays it up and in. Chris Fonte, goal hanging, is going to get the easy 2 here, and Hills is back up 4-3.
Like I said before the game, John, Quinn and Fonte got to get those balls, and they got to get those rebounds, and they led the break right there.
Valdez gets it up ahead. Tight man-to-man defense from the Patriots so far. This is Emmanuel over to Lesko. Back to Valdez down low, tries to get control of the baseline. Heskins is there to play defense, and it's going to be tipped up ahead to Sam Pressler, who will push it for the Patriots. No numbers, but Pressler's going to pull up for 3 and hit. Sam Pressler from 3-point range. And just like that, Paramus is going to take a timeout.
John, the Patriots are getting anything they want beyond the 3-point arc, and if they keep knocking down, it's going to be a long game for Paramus.
And you know, that's Wayne Hills' trademark the last several years. They've been a 3-point shooting team. They live and die by the 3-point basket, which makes them a real streaky team. But they've carried that over to this season with Heskins, Pressler, and Brandel, all very dangerous and streaky shooters from the outside. I was at the game on Friday in Patterson, where Hills lost to Kennedy by 18 points. They were just clearly overmatched, but in that one, really the thing that kept them in it was that 3-point shooting. Joe Brandel went 6 for 8 in that game from downtown, so he was on fire. Sam Pressler, who you just saw hit that one, was 3 for 6. So, I mean, this is definitely a shooting team, and all of Pressler's 9 points came from downtown. So, like we saw, 12 points this year for Sam, and all of them have been on the 3-point bucket. The Hills' full court press causing problems for Paramus early on, so they're going to stick with it. A foul from behind on Joe Brandel. That was Yenru Wu running the court for the Spartans. He was hit hard from behind, and Wu's going to inbound it now. Gets it up ahead to Lesko. And it's stolen by Pressler, who'll dish it off to Brandel. Bounce pass up ahead to Heskins. Draws the foul. Basket's no good, but Matt Heskins will go to the line to shoot 2.
See, last year, John, with Lacarica and Russo, we might have seen a pull-up elbow jump shot right there. But Matt Heskins going to the basket and getting to the line for 2 free throws.
You know, there was a lot of talk coming into this season about chemistry. I mean, last year's team had a ridiculous amount of talent, but they weren't able to pull it together for the playoffs. And the consensus this year is that although a lot of that scoring is off the team now, losing them to graduation, these kids think they can really be even better than last year's team because they have great chemistry and they're all good friends off the court, and they think that can go a long way. Heskins' second free throw is good. So Matt nails both of them. And Hills now has a 6-point lead, 9-3 with 5:19 to go in the first quarter.
And John, after giving up 77 points to Kennedy, Wayne Hill's taking nothing for granted, starting with a full court press.
There's no question Coach Catalano has told his kids to focus on defense. Scoring was not that much of an issue for Wayne Hills. They put up 58 against Kennedy, which is average, but against a good team, that's pretty decent. I mean, they were hitting their shots. Just too many turnovers in that game. I believe they had 17 turnovers in the first half alone against Kennedy, and you just can't have that in a high school game. Dangerous pass to Emmanuel. They're going to call a reach-in foul on Sam Pressler, so Paramus will inbound. But Hills has really looked a lot sharper in this one. I think the home court is really helping them get a lot more comfortable. They've played on this court a lot. And, I mean, Heskins and Pressler against Kennedy were really looked like deer in headlights early on in that game, and they committed a lot of those 17 turnovers, and they looked a little inexperienced, and they are inexperienced. And now coming back home, they seem to be a lot more comfortable, and they're very talented players, and their talent's going to show now here at home. This is Emmanuel, kick it out to Lesko, gets it inside. There's going to be a inside post move, no good. The rebound goes out of bounds. They're going to give it to the Patriots.
See Paramus struggling getting their offensive sets. It's due to the Wayne Hills defense. They've been playing great right on their man.
That was number 12, Greg Shippoliti, on that hook shot. Heskins is going to run the point now on Wu. He gets it to Brandel. You know, into their passing offense. Like I said, a set offense, something we didn't see too much in the last 2 years. They got guys running baseline, some screens. They get it to Quinn here now on the far wing, who's going to post up Fonte. Kicks it back out to Quinn. Quinn for three. It's good. Mike Quinn with his first points of the 2009-2010 season. He hits a three from downtown, and Hills is now up by 9.
And talking to Mike before the game, he wasn't very confident with himself in his first performance against Kennedy. I think he's very happy right now hitting that three, getting the monkey off his back.
That's a great point, Joe. I mean, Mike coming off a very disappointing football season, maybe carried a little bit over into this basketball season. Against Kennedy, he took only 2 shots, missed them both. And he was a big part of the team last year. Not a starter, but got significant minutes, so he's one of the few experienced players this year. You'd expect him to be a leader for this team. And against Kennedy was really a no-show, so hopefully Mike can step it up a little bit these next few games. Brandel has the ball now. It's to Pressler. Heskins running baseline. A lot of movement on the offensive end, which is nice to see because last year's team didn't do that too much. They were more of a create-for-yourself kind of offense. Heskins picks up his dribble but gets it to Quinn. And another change from last year is that Mike Quinn's playing more of a guard or a swing man, playing really the three as he gets inside this time. Misses that shot, but he gets his own rebound. Hits it back out to Pressler. NBA range three, rattles out. Rebounded by the Spartans. This is Danny Denosi, and it's knocked away by Sam Pressler out of bounds back to Paramus with 3:16 to go.
Patriots again stifling on the defensive end, John. They're not giving Paramus any easy passes or looks.
Not at all. I mean, Paramus only has 3 points at this point. Wayne Hill's just playing a really good, tight, aggressive man-to-man defense, and it's been the difference so far. Paramus with some subs in now as Quinn makes the steal. Heskins up ahead, draws the foul, puts it up, no good. Matt Heskins will go to the line again. Heskins is doing a good job on these fast breaks of drawing contact, and he'll go up for 2 more free throws now.
I mean, he's the point guard. He runs the show, so he's got to play like this every single night out, John.
Now, Brandel ran a lot of the point in the scrimmages in the first game against Kennedy, but Coach Catalano really wants Heskins and Pressler, especially Heskins, to handle the ball because he really has some of the best dribbling skills. He's not the best scorer on the team. He can score some points, but he's not exactly going to light up the stat sheet. So Catalano wants Heskins to handle the ball so Brandel can create for himself away from the ball. But he had to give the ball to Brandel in that Kennedy game because Heskins and Pressler were just turning it over way too much. Heskins hits his next free throw, so he's 4 for 4 from the line now. Hill's up 14-3 with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Hill's just laying a whooping on him right now. Another steal from Pressler. Gets it up ahead to Quinn, who might dunk it, and he's not going to do it. Finger rolls it in. Mike Quinn with the easy 2. He now has 5 points in the game. Mike Quinn's been telling us he can dunk on demand. He had a great opportunity right there, but just decided to take the easy 2 and lay it up and in. This is Emmanuel posting up now on Quinn. They're going to call a travel. Excuse me, that was Shippoliti on the post up. Wu is going to check back in for Valdez, but nothing going right for Paramus on the offensive end.
You see DeBlock and Mike Treese coming in for Pressler and Mike Quinn. see if they can keep it going and keep getting some good offensive shots to the basket.
It's the first time we've seen Matt DeBlock and Mike Dries in the game today. Dries, an explosive guard, can really make it happen with the ball in his hands. DeBlock more of a defensive player. He's just a solid player all around. He's not going to score a lot, but he's a very valuable player to this team. Matt Heskins with it on top. They're going to call it travel. They're going to say he shuffled his feet. I don't know if Matt agrees with that one, but it'll be really Hills' first turnover that I've noticed thus far. So they've handled the ball with a lot more care than the Spartans so far. Wu can't find anyone, and they're going to call a 5-second violation on Yen Ru Wu. So it'll go back over to Wayne Hills.
That's great ball denial by Wayne Hills, not giving you any chance to pass it to someone.
The pressure's been stifling thus far, like you said, Joe. Hills giving up points in the mid-70s against Kennedy. Was a great scoring team. Had some great scores like Shondell Stewart, who put up 33 points for Kennedy. That one gets Stefanti down low, puts it up. Off the back iron, no good. DeBlock is there trying to get the rebound. It'll go out of bounds to Paramus. But like I said, Hills gave up, I believe, 76 points to Kennedy on Friday, and their defense was not exactly stifling, but it definitely is today, as they've only given up 3 points to this Paramus team. They really haven't even gotten shots off tonight. The only points they have thus far is that 3-point basket from Lesko early on. Wu is trapped again in the corner, can't find anyone. They're going to get it up ahead to Emmanuel, who's going to finally control it for Paramus. Gets it to Wu, who loses it, intercepted by Heskins. Lead pass up ahead to Brandel, who will lay it up and in. Heskins to Brandel for the 2-point bucket, and Paramus is going to spend their second time out of the quarter.
In this second half of the first quarter, Wayne Hill's getting a lot of his points on the fast break.
So with Wayne Hills dominating 18-3, we're going to send it to a short break. We'll be back after this.
Corrado, here's Campbell. Campbell centering Licio. Off his stick, Licio falls down. Beautiful pass from Campbell. Licio not able to hang on to it. Axelman in the corner. Axelman, nice moves. Centers to Licio. And Wayne Hills puts it away. Wayne Hills puts it away. Albert Campbell, his 4th goal. It's absolutely crazy at the asphalt. Wayne Hills, your 2005 NBIL Ice Hockey Championship. Albert Campbell, 4 goals. For the Patriots, 6 goals. Campbell, the sophomore. What else can you say but wow?
Welcome back to the Gifford Gymnasium, where the Wayne Hills Patriots lead the Paramus Spartans by a score of 18-3 here in the first quarter, 1:45 to go. Hills keep the full court press on. They're keeping the pedal to the metal, no lighting up here. Paramus trying to get some shots off. They haven't even been able to do that in today's game. A couple subs in. They're going to Barrio here for Paramus. This is Valdez, who pulls up from 3. No good off the side of the rim. It goes out of bounds to Wayne Hills. Max Barrio, as well as number 11, David Quinones, have gotten in the game for the Spartans, along with Lesko, Valdez, and Denozi. So here we go. Joe Brandel back at the point guard position. Mike Dries will stay in the game along with Matt DeBlock. Peter Davies has checked in for the first time, replacing Chris Fonte. Dries with the ball gets it to Pressler, who's been in the whole game. Dries trying to make something happen off the dribble, gets past the first guy, pulls up from 14 feet, no good. It goes out of bounds back to Wayne Hills. Paramus couldn't control it. 55 seconds to go in the first quarter.
See, John, right there, Mike's got to go to the hole. I mean, he's got to get fouled. He's got to get to the line.
Wasn't a terrible shot from Dries, but he definitely has the quickness to get past more than one guy. Pressler gets it to Dries, looking to post up to block, couldn't get it to him. They get it to Dries inside. He dishes it to Davies down low. He gets stuffed from behind. And they're going to give it back to Paramus. They're going to call a foul on Peter Davies. Hills' 3rd foul of the quarter. So the ball will go back to Valdez and the Spartans.
Finally, a defensive stamp by the Spartans. They're finally going to get the ball back, and they're still trying to figure out how to get it up court.
They are really struggling with their ball handling. Quinones can't get it over in time. 10-second violation. So with 29 seconds to go, it's 18-3 Patriots. It's been completely one-sided. They get it to Pressler in the corner, drives baseline. He's going to get bumped. They're going to call a block on Eric Lesko. Third foul for the Spartans. Joe Brando will inbound. Emmanuel checking in for Quinones. Brando, the Davies in the corner, gets it back to Pressler. They swing it to Brando from 3. No good. Joe Brando off the mark in this first quarter. The only thing not going right for the Patriots is Valdez falls to the floor, and they're going to call a travel on him. So it'll go out of bounds back to Wayne Hills.
Joe Brandel hitting 6 threes last game versus Kennedy. Is a little cold to start off this game. See if he can regain his strength.
0 for 3 by my count is Brandel, but 0 for 4. So, I mean, he's not hitting his shots like he did against Kennedy, where he was 6 for 8, which is incredible. But it's all right because Quinn and Pressler have made up for it, hitting one each of their own. 14 seconds to go. Hills is going to hold for the final shot. Pressler has it in the corner from 3. No good. To block in there for the board, but Lesko's there to handle it. 5 seconds to go. Valdez has to get something going here. 3 seconds, 2 now. Valdez is going to have to chuck it off from half court. The buzzer sounds. Paramus couldn't even get off a shot. A dominating first quarter from the Wayne Hills Patriots. They lead by a score of 18-3. We'll be back with the second quarter of action after this.
Monahan turns around, takes a quick peek at the clock, hands it up the middle to Lynn, who gets outside. Chaz Lynn, it's a foot race. He's at the 40, to the 30. Lynn still on the feet, and he's in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills.
Look at the clock, Lou. It reads triple zeros as Chaz Lynn plays his own version of Beat the Clock. He had to go one place, and that was into the end zone, because if he was tackled, the half was over. Chaz Lynn beats the clock.
Back here at Wayne Hills High School, I'm John Vittas here with Joe Rapp. Where your boys basketball team for Wayne Hills leads Paramus 18-3. Hills coming out here in the home opener on fire. Mike Dries stays in to run the point, gets it to Sam Pressler. A lot of juniors in the game right now, 3 of them. Pressler, Dries, and Davies. Brandel has it now. Looking to make things happen. Wayne Hills probably won't force the issue for the rest of the game as long as they can maintain this big lead. Up by 15 right now. They try to force it inside to Dries, denied by Valdez. Paramus with a fast break, stolen by Joe Brandel. Gets it up ahead to Peter Davies, who will take it himself and lay it up and in. Peter Davies getting the feed from Joe Brandel, and Hills is now up 20-3.
Brandel making up for his bad pass right before that play, getting the assist there. Great quick hands by Brandel and good heads-up play.
Davies with the first points for the Wayne Hills bench. 3-point attempt by number 10, Danny Denazzi, no good. Brandel will take it up now. A minute here into the second quarter. Hills is moving the ball around. Brandel will slow it up. Thinks about shooting up a 3. Gets it back to Sam Pressler. Posts up Peter Davies. Nice inside move from Davies. Puts it up, no good. Couldn't get the roll, but he'll go to the line for 2.
That's really the first or second post move we've seen from Wayne Hills' big man tonight.
Chris Fonte getting some breathing time here. Hasn't been in the game in a few minutes now, and that's something Wayne Hills tends to do when they try to go into a motion offense, something where you need some quickness and speed. Davies' first free throw is no good. But against Kennedy, Fonte did sit out a nice portion of that game, probably about a quarter and a half, so he only played a little bit more than half the game, but he was able to score 22 points, with 18 of those coming in the second half. So really, second half, down by 20, Wayne Hills just kind of fed him the ball, and he laid it up and in, really on about 3 or 4 possessions in a row. And really, Fonte's the go-to guy. He's the most varsity experience out of anyone on this team. Was a key contributor last year, the only returning starter. So Wayne Hills is definitely going to look to Chris Fonte in times of distress, but right now, No distress for Wayne Hills as Davies hits the second free throw. Valdez gets it stolen from Quinn, but it goes out of bounds. Back to Paramus. Paramus swings it around. A clean possession for once. That's nice to see. Valdez comes around the screen, gets it in the corner to Emmanuel, down low to Shippoliti, who lays it up and in. Davies couldn't get there in time as number 12, Greg Shippoliti, puts in 2.
Finally, some good ball movement by Paramus, getting the easy lay, and that's what they need, John, if they want to get back in this game.
Well, Hills ditched that full court press, and it allowed Paramus to get set and kind of make something happen. Shippoliti was finally able to finish, breaking an 8-minute drought from scoring. Davies kicks it out to Quinn for 3, no good, rebounded by DeBlock. This is Dries now, so 8 minutes in a row without scoring for Paramus. Unheard of in any level of basketball. Heskins doesn't get it to go in the lane. Rebounded by Valdez. Will get it up ahead to Emmanuel, who will give it to Shippoliti, back to Emmanuel now. Drives baseline, DeBlock was there, puts up the floater, no good. Tipped by Lesko, unable to fall. DeBlock gets it out to Heskins, who will run the floor. Back to Dries, who's running the point right now. So Mike Dries only played about 6 to 8 minutes in that Kennedy game, getting some significant minutes here. Heskins tries to get it down low to Davies. It's knocked away by Shippoliti. Shippoliti yelling for the ball, but Emmanuel didn't see him. They're going to call a kick on Wayne Hills, as 3 substitutes will come in. Coming in for the first time is senior Maxi Carvalho, making his home Wayne Hills basketball debut. This is Max's first season playing basketball for the Patriots. Moved here 2 years ago. A wide receiver for the football team. Tried out this year for the basketball team. Made the varsity squad and played a few minutes against Kennedy, but won't be considered a key component to this year's team, but could get some minutes as we see here as Valdez comes up empty on a 3. So Heskins is going to run the point now. Gives it back to Brandel. 4:44 to go in the first half. D. Carvalho in the corner gets it to Fonte down low, working one-on-one on Shippoliti. Shippoliti can't draw the charge, and Fonte lays it up and in. 23-5 Patriots.
You know, John, I don't know about you, but you know, it's very cold outside, and maybe Paramus isn't warm yet because they can't make a shot right now.
You know, maybe the cold is affecting Paramus. I can't quite figure it out. Just as I say that, Shippoliti hits the jumper. His second bucket of the second quarter. He has 4 points now, as Paramus has 7 as a team, 23-7. But Paramus hasn't gotten in any type of rhythm. They have just no tempo to their offense whatsoever as they get another steal. Heskins comes back, knocks it away, trying to make up for his turnover on the offensive end. Paramus will bring in another substitute. And if you're Coach Bill Whitney, why not? That was Randy Sanchez getting in for the first time. Really the biggest guy on the team, so we'll see if he can handle Chris Fonte down low.
I mean, for Coach Whitney, you're just trying to find something that works. Any combination of some sort works.
Some ball movement here. 3-point basket, no good. Denazi missed badly. Pressler takes it up now. Joe Brandel came in for Dries, so Dries is out of the game. They get it down low to Fonte. One-on-one move on Shippoliti. Piece of cake for the 6'8" Chris Fonte. Lays it up, and then he's got 6 points now. And Paramus is just so outsized down low. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop Fonte at all tonight.
John, I don't know if any team could stop Fonte. I mean, he's so big and strong. I mean, he could post move, do a little spin, just box him down and just get easy layups all day.
Well, the 6'8", 300-pound Chris Fonte verbally committed to the University of Rutgers to play football for Coach Greg Schiano in the fall of 2010. So he's already punched his ticket athletically at the college level. So he's just here to have some fun and dominate down low. Like I said, he had 22 points against Kennedy, who's one of the premier teams in North Jersey. So if he can score 22 points against one of the top teams, there's no reason he can't do that on an every game basis. So with Hills up by 18 points, looking to really put it out of reach here in the first half. Kick ball by Sanchez. as they're just trying to feed Fonte now and ride their big man to an easy win. Pressler on the wing, gives it down low to Fonte, working on Schippoliti. That 5-inch height advantage paying dividends. Fonte missed it, but got his own rebound, and he's fouled by Schippoliti, so he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, he can rebound too.
It's not too hard at 6'8".
Just put your hands up.
Now, one thing Fonte has to work on as far as basketball goes is his free throw shooting. Kind of a Shaq type of guy from the stripe. Probably he does hit some. He's not necessarily atrocious from the line, but my guess is he's around 50%. He'd like to improve that. He hits 1 out of 2 there. So he now has 7 points in this game. As Sanchez is going to handle the ball. Doesn't look like quite the guard. Chris Rigolosi is in the game for the first time as Brandel comes up with it. Running the break, will pull up from 18 feet and hit. So Joe Brandel with his 3rd field goal of the game. They've all been 2-pointers, which is a surprise, but he's got 6 points. Paramus is going to take their 3rd time out of the game, so they're running out of those. But with 2:26 to go in the first half, Hills leads 28-7.
John, the Wayne Hills Patriot offense is clicking on all cylinders. They can shoot the 3. They can get it inside. They can pull up for a jump shot. They can do it all right now.
And they're hitting their free throws, and that just makes them even more lethal from all aspects of the game. And right now the Goonies are cheering, but they can't get that into it in this type of a blowout. 21-point lead for Hills in the first half. I mean, it's not even close at this point. But, Joe, as I mentioned, let's talk about the Goonies for a minute. I mean, really the linchpin of Wayne Hills basketball. They come in force to every home game. Last year they were so loud. Really, they were a factor in the games, in my opinion. I mean, at one point they were getting so rowdy and obnoxious that some of them were ejected from games, even suspended from school. So, I mean, they're a rowdy group. A lot of the key contributors to that Goonie group have graduated. So there's shoes to be filled in the stands as well as on the court. But it seems like they've filled those shoes well because they're being pretty loud so far in the early going, and you hear those individual chants coming from all over.
Well, John, it's just passing the torch. I mean, there's many kids in our grade that are very loud and are very annoying. So they could be very good at that, and they do factor in the games for sure. I mean, if I was coming here, I wouldn't want to listen to that all game. So
I mean, absolutely not. They can be quite offensive. I mean, last year's seniors really got that Goonie tradition going as Brandel comes up with the steal. He's going to take it himself and lay it up and in. Joe Brandel with 8 points now, but I mean, there was a group of seniors last year that really organized that group. I mean, ordered T-shirts for the kids. I mean, so they matched too. But, I mean, losing those kids, I was curious to see whether they'd keep the tradition going, and there's no question they have, as they have shown up in force tonight. A lot of kids over there, and they're being pretty loud. I mean, as loud as you can be for a 23-point game. So 30-7 Wayne Hills, 1:57 to go in the second quarter. Paramus just trying to break double digits in the first half. They get it inside. Fonte with the monster stuff. And they're going to call a travel on Sanchez. Max Barrio got absolutely crushed by Chris Fonte, and it was a clean block.
I mean, you really can't do anything about that. You can't do anything. I mean, he's just so tall. He can do anything he wants right now.
I mean, Barrio's probably one of the biggest guys on Paramus, probably around 6'3", 6'4". Nice pass from Mike Quinn to Chris Fonte for the easy lay-in. We saw Quinn make some nice passes on the football field. He did it on the basketball court right there. Quinn gets the steal now and dishes it to Heskins underneath, who gets fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Well, John, Mike Quinn's having a much better outing than he did in the first game, with no points, no rebounds, or no assists. I mean, he's all over the ball on defense, and he's making plays happen on offense, so he's doing it all tonight.
Heskins 4 for 4 from the line tonight. We'll see if he can keep that going, but Mike Quinn has really put forth a nice effort tonight. No question about it, as he's really made a difference in this game after really not doing anything against Kennedy. Heskins makes his first, so he's 5 for 5 now. Make it 6 for 6 as he gets the roll. So Matt Heskins with 6 points tonight, all coming from the free throw line. Hills now leads 34-7. I mean, this is getting out of hand now. 27-point lead in the first half. Second half, I wouldn't be surprised to see some substitutes getting in. As they try to get it down low to Emmanuel, and they do. Kicks it out to Lesko. Lesko drives baseline, tries to draw the foul. Fonte didn't bite on the trick. To block up ahead to Quinn. Quinn to Drees in the corner. They'll slow it up, gets it down low to Fonte. Fonte banks it up, no good. Rebounded by number 1, Chris Rigolosi. Rigolosi to Denazi, back to Emmanuel. 48 seconds to go in the half. Emmanuel puts up the floater and banks it home. So Eli Emmanuel with his first basket of the night. And now Paramus is just 1 point away from breaking double digits.
And they've done a lot better job getting the ball up the court in the second quarter.
I think they've cut their turnovers in this quarter from about 30 to 20. I mean, they're doing a little bit better. Of course, I'm being sarcastic, but they've been a little bit better in this quarter, to say the least, but still struggling nevertheless.
I mean, all you're looking from Coach Whitney's improvement. You know, you're not probably not going to win this game, so all you want is improvement. Let these kids learn and try to make themselves better for the next couple games.
There's no question this Paramus team's going to take their lumps this year because this is a much, much tougher league, and they're going to face some high-quality basketball teams, such as Kennedy. So, I mean, I really want to see how they react to that. As the Goonies making their impact on this game, as Rigolosi puts it right back in their face. They were counting down with more time that was there, and Heskins puts up the three-point basket. One-handed, Matt Heskins puts up the basket. They're going to rule it a 2. Nice play by Heskins and the half in style. As Hales is chanting, start the buses at halftime. So Joey Rapp, what a half for the Patriots, as Rigolosi was able to put Paramus in double digits, but still an embarrassing half for the Spartans.
Yeah, John, Paramus, they didn't play very well in this first half, but you really got to give credit to the Wayne Hills defense, getting their hands on the ball, leading to fast breaks and easy layups, like I said. And in the first quarter, I mean, they couldn't miss a shot from the three-point line. They were making everything.
It's been a pretty one-sided, even dull game, you could say, all night. But, I mean, got a little exciting there those last 10 seconds or so. The Goonies counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with 10 seconds to go. They tricked Rigolosi, who chucked up a 3 and banked it back home to shove it right back in the Goonies' face. But Heskins came back down the court and put up a circus shot to put Hills up 36-12, as you see there. So that'll do it for the first half of action. Hills with a 24-point lead. We'll be back with the second half of action after this.
They fake it to the out man and they toss it right to Tom DiBianca. DiBianca has room to run, moving down the right side. 10, 5, touchdown Tom DiBianca. His second touchdown of the game. Whoa, can he move?
Welcome back to the Gifford Gymnasium for today's high school basketball matchup, where your Wayne Hills Patriots lead the Paramus Spartans by a score of 36-12. I'm John Vittas here with Joe Rapp. I'm just going to quickly run through some first half stats for today's game. Paramus just 12 points in the first half, 3 of them coming in the first quarter, 9 of them coming in the second quarter. Greg Schipolitti's the leading scorer with 4 points. Eric Lesko has 3, and Eli Emmanuel has 2. Now for Wayne Hills, it's a little more in-depth, pretty balanced all around. No one has more than 9 points. Joe Brandel has 8. Matt Heskins has 9. He's hit a three-pointer, and he's 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Sam Pressler has 3. Mike Quinn has 5. Chris Fonte has 9. He's 1 for 2 from the line. And Peter Davies has 3. He's also 1 for 2 from the line. So as a team, Wayne Hills is shooting 8 for 10 from the free throw stripe. Of course, Heskins leading the way there at 6 for 6. Hills has hit three-point baskets in this game, but something for me, Joe, that's kind of stood out is that last year and the year before that, Hills was relying on the three-point basket. I mean, if it was off, they were going to lose the game. No questions asked. But today, their threes they're doing all right. They're not lighting it up, but they're hitting some. But they've been scoring inside tonight. They've been scoring in every way possible. And how valuable is that going forward into the season?
It's very valuable because it's very difficult to rely on jump shooting to win games. But like I said, the whole game. Your defense is your best offense. They lead to fast breaks, and they get easy layups, and that's what they've been doing. They've gotten a lot of layups, and they're getting to the hole, and they're getting to the foul line, which are very easy too.
Nice pass to Valdez. Can't get the reverse layup, but Shippoliti is there for the board, and he puts it in. So Greg Shippoliti leading the way for Paramus with 6 points now as they get the scoring started here in the second half. Hills has their starting 5 in the game. Brandel, Heskins, Pressler, Quinn, and Fonte. Heskins kind of ambidextrous with that ball, and he's a lefty by trade, but he can go right-handed as well. I mean, that's true for Brandel. Really, any point guard has to be able to do that at this level. Pressler more of an off guard, but he can take the hand of the ball a little bit too. Gets it inside to Fonte, draws the foul on Shippoliti. So Chris Fonte will go to the line to shoot too, but it's nice to see some of the younger guys get in. I mean, juniors aren't necessarily young, but younger in comparison to seniors. And really, this is the first significant game action we've seen from Sam Pressler and Matt Heskins, and they've played real well today.
Absolutely, John. They have played real well because they don't have a lot of experience at the varsity level, and they've played well for that because it's only their second game starting. And, you know, the last couple years, I mean, Lancarica and Joey Russo started as freshmen, so there really was no room for shooting guards and big forwards to play.
You know, Joe, that's a great point. I mean, this is really Heskins and Pressler's first real big-time opportunity at the varsity level. They played a few minutes here and there last year, but nothing significant. And like I said, they struggled. They had their struggles in Patterson on Friday, but they've come out and answered all questions tonight as they just played phenomenal games. Heskins from 3, no good there. As they're going to kick it out to Brandel, who's wide open from 3. He hits Joe Brandel with his 3-point field goal of the night. He now has 11 points, but going back to Heskins and Pressler, I mean, they're tremendous basketball players. They played the game their whole life growing up. They've worked hard in the offseason playing fall, summer, even spring league. So they play basketball all year round, and it shows. I mean, they're immensely talented players. They can really do it all, scoring-wise, passing-wise. They're very athletic kids, so they're definitely going to be stars for this team for the next 2 years. Coming off the steal, they get it down low to Fonte, backing down Shippoliti. Fonte can't get it to go. Lesko with the board. So here come the Spartans, down by 25. They're actually outscoring, I'm sorry, they're not outscoring Hills now after Brandel hit that 3, but a little bit more competitive here in the second half as we're 2.5 minutes in. Valdez gets it to Denazi. Denazi finds Emmanuel. Denazi drives baseline, nothing there. Hills' defense has been great all night. Lesko drives the lane, puts it up and in. Nice 2 from Eric Lesko. His second basket of the game. He now has 5 points.
Paramus just taking their time, trying to wait for a good shot, and they got it there.
Pass down low to Fonte, can't get it to go. I mean, Paramus probably realizes they're not going to win this game, and they're not going to have chaos on the offensive end. I mean, they're going to stick to their game plan, really concede this one to try to improve for another one. So they're not going to get out of their comfort zone. They're just going to try to do what they do and make it happen. Brandel pulls up from 3, a little bit long. Board goes to Chris Fonte, loses it out of bounds. It's going to stay with Wayne Hills. They're going to say it went off Lesko. So Brandel will inbound from under his own basket.
Brandel feeling it, you know. That was a quick shot by Joe Brandel. I mean, he's feeling confident in his shot, and he should be. He's a great shooter.
Quinn to Brandel. Posts up Fonte. Backing down Shippoliti. Puts it up. No good, but he'll go to the line. So Chris Fonte has 9 points in this game. He's 1 for 4 from the line. But, I mean, if he could just get a little more touch on his shots, I mean, he could really be even more dominant. I mean, I saw it in Patterson in the first half. I mean, things were getting a little bit out of control for Hills. They were down by 25 at the break, so they were kind of getting a little bit out of their game plan late in that first half. Fonte's first free throw is no good, so he's 1 for 5 now. But, I mean, Fonte showed a little touch in that second half, scoring 18 points. But if he can just show a little more touchdown low, he could be even more dominant than he already is.
Absolutely, John. You know, free throw shooting is vital for this team because I remember last year, the state game against West Milford, they lost by 5 points, I believe 52-47, and they missed 9 or 10 free throws in that game, and that's the game. They got to be more diligent at that.
That's a great point, Joe. I mean, especially Fonte, but all around, free throw shooting is always so key at any level of basketball. I mean, when they give you the shot, I mean, they're not called free throws for nothing. They're supposed to be free points, and it just kills me, or kills really any basketball fan when your team just can't hit those free throws. It's Heskins gets the board, and he's going to push it up. Gets it to Quinn on the wing. Starting five still in there. They haven't made a substitution yet in this third quarter as we're halfway through it. Fonte dishes to Heskins, who puts it up in the lane. Matt Heskins banks it home down to the middle of the lane, and he now has, by my count, 11 points in this game.
John, you see there, Heskins, he got the pass. He didn't bring the ball down and leave a roam over a strip. He just kept it up and had a nice, easy lay-in.
Matt Heskins showing some versatility now, as he has scored in every way possible. 6 free throws, 1 three-pointer, and now 1 deuce, as Brandel handling the ball. Gets it inside to Fonte. They're going to call a reach-in foul on Rigolosi, as Davies and DeBlock gets into the game, replacing Quinn and Fonte, the great football duo. Fonte familiar with Quinn by blocking for him in this year's football season, of course, the most disappointing year they've had in several seasons, but still the two best players on Wayne Hills by far were Quinn and Fonte, and now they're showing their athletic abilities on the basketball court, being two of the key contributors to this year's basketball team, as that one goes out of bounds back to Wu and the Spartans.
And do you think losing the state championship of football makes the football players that are done with football for the high school career, makes them more hungry for a basketball state championship?
To block with the steal, he'll take it himself, gets fouled. He goes down hard, but Joe, to answer your question, you know what? I don't really think so. I mean, it could. It could also have a negative effect on some type of a hangover, but I know specifically Quinn and Fonte are both laid-back kids, kind of goofy in their own kind of way. So I don't think it's going to affect them too much. As far as basketball goes, they kind of take basketball as a second sport. Only play it, during the season. They don't, as opposed to football, they work on all year round. So I don't think it's going to affect them in a negative light. But as far as making them more hungry, it could. I mean, they're definitely playing hungry today, especially Quinn has really stepped it up. So it's possible. Lesko gets it down low in good position. Nice reverse layup from Eric Lesko, as Paramus creeping ever so closely to 20 points.
If I was Paramus right here, my goal would just be maybe cut it to 12 or 10 points. Give yourself an opportunity to come back in this game and possibly win.
Peter Davies has it. Gets it to Pressler, showing some nice leaping ability. Sam to Heskins, wide open for three. He's going to pull up. No good off front rim. Peter Davies there for the board, and Davies lays it in.
That's bad boxing out by the Paramus big man, letting Peter Davies just get right in there, jump, and have a nice putback.
When the shot goes up, especially a shot from Heskins, who has a bit of a high-arcing shot, you got plenty of time to find a man, get a body on him, and box him out. And Paramus had none of that on that play, as Davies got in there easily for the easy two. Denazi's pass is kicked by DeBlock, so they'll go back to Paramus, trailing by 25 points with 2:24 to go in the third quarter. Goonies trying to have some fun in a lost cause for if you're Paramus. Sanchez down low. Gets it to Lesko. Lesko seems to be maybe the most talented player for Paramus. Puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Pressler. It's going to go out of bounds back to Wayne Hills. Mike Drees checks back in. So only 2 of the starters now in for Wayne Hills. As you would expect to see, the bench is empty pretty soon if you're Coach Catalano. Pressler wide open from 3, no good. Sam's been a little bit off tonight. Brandel gets the long rebound, but it's taken by Denazi. Paramus will head back the other way. But guys like John Giardello and Jimmy Kenny are some players you might expect to see come in off the bench tonight. They did play most of the JV game, so they wouldn't be eligible to play too much in this varsity game, but they definitely could get some minutes as time wears on. Sanchez to inbound, trying to find someone, having some trouble, gets it to number 11, Quinones. Sanchez goes through his legs, loses it to Davies. Davies comes back the other way, dishes it to Brandel for the easy 2. So Joe Brandel getting some points in transition as Hills goes up by 27.
It's great defense like they've been doing all night. Peter Davies getting the strip and miscommunication by Paramus.
Sanchez not paying attention, and the Goonies let him know that the ball just flew past his head. Denazi obviously unhappy with his wingman Sanchez, who wasn't even looking. So some transition dishing, as Clyde Frazier once said, for the Patriots. As they get post up Davies, tries to make a move, gets it back to Brandel, pump fake, pulls up from 3, and hits Joe Brandel's second 3-point basket of the game as he leads Wayne Hills now with 16 points, 8 of them coming in this quarter. Quinones misses the jumper, rebounded by Wayne Hills. Mike Drees at the top of the key, gets it to Pressler. 38 seconds to go in the quarter. They get it down low to Davies. They're going to call a hold on David Quinones of Paramus. So Brandel's going to inbound from his own baseline. Gets it to Davies, cutting down the lane, puts it up. No good. They fight for the rebound. Valdez comes away with it. Now they're going to call a block on Joe Brandel. Hills' 4th foul of the half. That's Brandel's 3rd of the game.
I don't think they're too worried about fouls right now, John.
No, absolutely not. Up by 30 points. I mean, they're not going to be in the game for too much longer anyway. Emmanuel cutting down the lane. Davies was there to contest, but he committed the foul. So now Eli Emmanuel go to the line, shooting 2. Emmanuel no good on the first one. So with 22 seconds to go, whoever gets this rebound will probably hold on for the last shot. Emmanuel hits the second, to the dismay of the Goonies, who have carried that "Boo That Man" chant over to the 09 to 2010 season. Brandel posts up Davies. Nice move down low, and Peter Davies lays it up and in. So Peter Davies showing some nice inside moves. He now has 7 points.
The development of Peter Davies is vital to this Patriot squad because, I mean, they're going to need him for next year, too, because he's going to replace Fonte, so he's got to be big.
There's no question the 6'3" Davies definitely works hard on those inside moves because he's the post presence next year, like you said, when Fonte's gone. So that'll do it for the 3rd quarter of action. So we'll head to the final quarter with Wayne Hills in control, leading by a score of 50-19.
Third and 5, 40 Indians from their own 37-yard line. Bly rolls out to the right side of the field, getting pressured by Drake. As the pass is intercepted by Jeremiah Kale. Kale to the 40, bounce out to the right side of the field. He's got blocking downfield to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Patriots. Jeremiah Kale, his 10th interception of the season, takes it back for a touchdown as the Patriots take a 6-0 lead.
Welcome back to the Gifford Gymnasium. I'm John Vittas here with Joe Rapp, where Wayne Hills leads Paramus 50-19, heading into the 4th quarter of action. Hills has kind of gone to their bench a little bit here. With only one starter in the game, that would be the senior Mike Quinn. DiCarvalho posts up Davies, who gets it back to Max. Max will put up the 6-foot floater and gets it to go. So that is Max DiCarvalho's first points as a member of the Wayne Hills basketball team at any level. This is his first year playing basketball. He hits that one. So Max DiCarvalho, welcome to the stat sheet. As a nice pass from Valdez goes awry as Schippoliti wasn't able to handle it. They're going to say it went off of Wayne Hill's foot. So it'll go back to Sanchez and the Spartans. So Coach Catalano putting in Matt DeBlock along with Peter Davies, who's earned some valuable minutes, along with Mike Dries and Max DiCarvalho now to complement the starter Quinn. As I'd expect to see some even more help coming in from the benches. Emmanuel's fouled. He'll go to the line. Trailing by 33.
It looks bleak for Paramus right now. The chances of them coming back are very bleak.
Thank you, Joe.
Just thought the viewers should know that.
Emmanuel hits his free throw. He's now 2 for 3 from the line. He's got 4 points. Only 3 guys have scored from Paramus. Lesko has 7, Schippoliti has 6, and Emmanuel now with 4. Rebound from Sanchez, and his putback is no good. So to go out of bounds back to the Spartans. With 50 seconds into this fourth quarter, Emmanuel pulls up from 3. Air ball rebounded by Mike Quinn. Dries unable to make something happen as he gives it to Quinn, who pulls up from 14 feet and hits. So Mike Quinn with another basket. He now has 7 points tonight, as Hills now leads 54-20. Valdez tries to dish it down low to Schippoliti, goes out of bounds, knocked away by Matt DeBlock. So Sanchez will have it from under his own basket with 6:47 to go. Emmanuel pulls up from 16 feet. No good, gets his own rebound. He's fouled by Peter Davies. So Emmanuel will go to the line. Shooting 2, he's 2 for 4 tonight from the line. The only Spartan to attempt a free throw. His first one rattles out.
John, I would say free throw shooting. They haven't made their free throws, Paramus. But I don't think it matters because, they haven't made their jump shots. It doesn't matter because, they're down by a significant amount. So it was just a bad offensive day in general.
Well, the free throws is all Emmanuel. He's 3 for 6. He's the only one to even attempt one, as Chris Fonte gets an easy 2. I thought his day might be done, considering he's probably the most valuable player to this team, but Coach Catalano put him in there to get some garbage minutes, maybe work on some moves or whatever, but Fonte gets into double digits with that one now with 11 points. Quinn pulls down the board. Mike Quinn has put forth a great effort tonight, no question about it, as Mike Dries is running the point. As an all-football lineup now in there for Wayne Hills, every member on the court right now was a contributor to that Wayne Hills 10-2 squad. DeBlock gets inside, can't get it to go. Fonte, the board, gives it to Dries, but they're going to call a foul. Might be on the floor. But like I said, you look at the starting lineup right now. Mike Dries, starting wide receiver. Matt DeBlock, starting tight end, wide receiver, safety. Chris Fonte, of course, the great left tackle. Along with Quinn, of course, the quarterback, and DiCarvalho, who was a receiver. So Coach Olson's football team representing on the basketball court right now. Fonte misses the front end of the 1-and-1. DeBlock with the board, gets it partially blocked as he went up. They're going to call a foul on Wayne Hills, so it'll go back to Paramus.
John, watching this whole game, DeBlock has been active, on the offensive and defense side of the ball. So I think he's a spark off the bench that Coach Cat's going to need during the season.
DeBlock's a very valuable player. You're going to look at his stats at the end of the season and say, what did this kid do? He was a bench player as a senior, but he really is valuable. He's a great defensive player. He has some height at 6'1", so he can play the 3 or the 4, whatever you want, and probably the 4. And you could move Quinn up to the 3 where he can be more of a scorer. But DeBlock, he gets in there, he gets a lot of rebounds. He can post up. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's just one of those guys that you look back at the end of the season and say, you know what? he was important. I mean, we couldn't have done it without him, despite probably averaging only 2 or 3 points a game. So Matt DeBlock, I mean, you can't say enough about him. He's a great kid, great football player. I mean, he was really overlooked on the football team, too. I mean, he's the safety. Hills didn't give up any big plays on the football field, and you can credit that 100% to Matt DeBlock for containing those offenses of the opposing teams. And kind of plays the same type of role as an under-the-radar guy who's just so valuable. As you see, DeBlock playing strong defense there on Emmanuel. This is Valdez. Working on Quinn, gets inside. Fonte there for the block. It'll go back over to Paramus with 4:53 to go. And Joe, are you a little bit surprised that the subs haven't gotten a little bit more playing time? I mean, a lot of the starters are still playing.
I'm absolutely surprised, man. I mean, it's a 35-point game. You know, there's no reason to keep your starters in like Chris Fonte and Mike Quinn. Oh, we see Jimmy Kenny going to the scorer's table.
So right on cue, Jimmy Kenny will get ready to check back in. Fonte gets his own board to Barrio's dismay. I mean, nothing he can do. Fonte just too tall and too strong down low. Chris Fonte now with 13 points tonight. So Emmanuel handling the ball, gets it to Barrio. Valdez will handle it, working on Quinn. Gets it to Barrio, guarded by Fonte. Denazzi pulls up from 3, off front iron. DeBlock pulls down the board. DiCarvalho will defer to Mike Quinn. Mike Dries creating for himself, puts up the circus layup, no good after he got turned around. Foul on Chris Fonte. We'll go back over to the Spartans as checking in is Sam Pressler, along with Jimmy Kenny, who I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he is making his varsity debut right now. Might have gone in a tiny bit perhaps last year, but I really don't remember him doing so. So Jimmy Kenny getting in for the first time in 2010. With 3:51 to go in the game. The only other guy on the bench that hasn't seen action so far is John Giardello, the junior forward, who I wouldn't be surprised to see get in with under 4 minutes to go, and Hills nursing a 36-point lead.
John, I'm going to call it. Jimmy Kenny's going to hit a 3-point shot sometime at the end of this game. I'm going to call it right now.
Yeah, Jimmy's a great shooter. I mean, growing up with him and seeing him play boys club and PAL ball, I mean, he is lights out. When the pressure might get to him a little bit, but in laid back situations like this, I mean, Jimmy Kenny can stroke it from the elbow at will and shoot a ridiculous percentage. I mean, I remember a PAL championship game in 8th grade. I think he had something like 28 points and was really hitting every jump shot he took as Mike Dries at the free throw line hits the front end of the 1-and-1. So Dries getting his first points of the night. Hitting that free throw. He'll have another one now. No good off back iron. Didn't follow his shot. Wu with the board. So now, is Pressler the only starter in the game for Wayne Hills? Joined by DeBlock, Kenny, DiCarvalho, and Dries. Wu gets inside. Nice crow hop, but DeBlock was there to contest. Rebounded by DiCarvalho, who gets it up ahead to Dries. 3:15 to go in the game. DiCarvalho thinking about it. He's going to start a dribble, loses it. As the loose ball is picked up by Mike Dries, who dishes to Matt DeBlock, who'll lay it up and in. So Mike Dries making it happen and giving Matt DeBlock the easy 2 points, so DeBlock's now on the board as well.
It's great look-away pass from Mike Dries. He had Jimmy Kenny and Matt DeBlock on both sides. Chose to go with DeBlock then.
Lesko stuffed hard by DeBlock and DiCarvalho. They're going to call the foul on, I believe, Max DiCarvalho. So Lesko will go to the line shooting 2. First guy to get to the line tonight other than Emmanuel. Lesko, the leading scorer for Paramus with 7 points. His first free throw is good, so make it 8 for the forward, Eric Lesko. As checking into the game, and I know for a fact making his varsity debut, is number 23, John Giardello. So a full complement of bench players in there for the Patriots now. With 2:46 to go, Lesko hits his second. He now has 9 points. So Dries is going to run the point as he gets tripped from behind by Rigolosi. So Mike Dries will get to shoot 2 more free throws, or 1 and 1 at least. That's the 9th team foul for the Spartans. Paramus is already in a double bonus with Hills committing 10 fouls in this half. So Dries with a chance to pad some stats here. First free throw, no good, so Paramus will retain possession after DiCarvalho gets charged for the over-the-back foul. And now Paramus is going to shoot 2. So any foul from here on out will result in 2 free throws, unless it's an offensive foul. Sanchez is going to shoot him. No good on the first. Paramus not even bothering to put any rebounders in there. Sanchez good on the second. So Paramus now with 24 points in the game. Hills with 61. So a great offensive effort from them.
John, are you surprised that, you know, Matt Haskins is not in the game? I know he's your starter, but, you know, and he's an inexperienced point guard, like I said early in the telecast. When you want to get him some more minutes?
Well, I'm not surprised he's not in the game right now, but I am surprised that he has barely been on the court at all in the second half. I mean, he had a nice first half with 9 points. He's got 11 total, but the last 10 minutes or so, he really hasn't done anything as Giardello gets inside, dishes to Kenny. His JV connection, no good. Jimmy Kenny can't hit that jumper. So I'm a little bit surprised about Haskins, but I mean, the starters won't see too much time at all as Kenny pulls down his 3rd rebound of the game. So Jimmy Kenny not afraid to get his nose in there for some boards. Pressler is the only starter in the game. On the last possession, DiCarvalho had just 2 possessions ago, just an absolutely atrocious, inexplainable pass. Dries gets inside, he gets it stripped by Lesko, who comes away with the board. Sanchez dribbling it up, makes a move on DiCarvalho. Giardello was there. They're going to call a foul on either DiCarvalho or Giardello. So Sanchez will go to the line. They're going to call it on Max DiCarvalho, his 3rd. Sorry, his 2nd. Sanchez will get 2 more free throws, hit 1 of 2 on the last possession. No good on the first.
I'm still waiting for Jimmy to help me out and hit a 3 for me, man. After the game, if he doesn't do it, I'm gonna bust him.
Sanchez hits his 2nd. He now has 2 points. 61-25 Wayne Hills, 1:20 to go in the game. Bad pass by Sam Pressler, intercepted by Wu. Gets it up ahead, misses the layup. Pressler was trailing to get the board. So nice hustle from Sam Pressler in a meaningless situation to make up for his mistake. DiCarvalho in the corner, trying to post up Kenny, but gets it stripped by Sanchez. Back to Wayne Hills with 1:04 to go.
Max, always when he gets the ball, is trying to make a move. He just can't cut the corner of the defenders. So
Giardello's pass is knocked away, but Wayne Hills gets it back. Dries controls. As we tick down under 54 seconds to go, Pressler will jack up a 3. No good, rebounded by DiCarvalho, who got up high. Gets it to Giardello. Dries to Pressler on the wing, to Kenny from 15 feet. Short off the iron. We might have jinxed Jimmy Kenny because he's 0 for 2 shooting now.
sorry, Jimmy.
Don't apologize to me. Jimmy's the one you jinxed, Joe. They get it to Sanchez in the corner. Jacks up a 3. Air ball. 18 seconds to go. They might just dribble out the clock now. Giardello in the corner. Dishes it to Kenny down low. Puts up a shot stuffed. DiCarvalho will handle it. Looks to get it to Giardello out of bounds back to the Spartans with 7.5 to go. Hills up by 36.
As the Goonies are looking like they're making their way out. This game was over a long time ago, but now it's officially over.
It's nice to see the students stick around for the whole game. As that'll do it for this one. Wayne Hills with a dominating performance here on opening night at Wayne Hills High School, winning this one by a final score of 61-25. I mean, Joe, just a dominating performance from all aspects of the game. I mean, is this one game that you can just mark up for a bad Paramus team, or can you credit Wayne Hills at all for putting forth a great effort?
Well, it's a combination of both, John. I mean, Wayne Hills played great defense. They got the ball basically on Paramus side of the court all the time. Paramus couldn't do anything on offense, couldn't get set, couldn't make layups, and couldn't make shots, and you're not going to win when you don't do that.
Wayne Hills was dominant from the start. I mean, it wasn't even close. This was an embarrassing performance if you're Paramus. I mean, Wayne Hills is going to face much tougher opponents this year, so this was just an easy win for them. Paramus will head on the bus and head home now, so not much to say about this one. So that'll just about do it from Wayne Hills High School in the Gifford Gymnasium. For our cameraman, Matt Reilly, for Joe Rapp, I am John Vittas. Have a nice night.